You're watching the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14.
Coming up, the Joplin Police Department places 3 officers on paid leave after a shooting incident near Cunningham Park.
We'll have the details. Also, the federal government proposes a wind farm to help prop up one community's failing power grid. If approved, it would power millions of homes.
And we do have, it's been really hot, as you can see. The month of July looking very unpleasant. Most days above normal, only a couple of days below normal. We're going to take a look at your full forecast, including some rain chances in the Skywatch Weather Center.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Thanks for joining us for the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. I'm Tanya Bach. 3 Joplin police officers are on paid leave after an officer-involved shooting. It happened near Cunningham Park. According to the Joplin Police Department, on Saturday, officers on patrol noticed a vehicle with a driver unconscious inside. A run of the tag came back with the vehicle listed as stolen. The officers then boxed the car in so the man could not wake up and flee.
Multiple attempts were made to get the driver to exit the vehicle. The driver attempted to leave by ramming our vehicles. Altercation continued and an officer-involved shooting occurred.
The man in the vehicle is in the hospital in critical condition. The Missouri Highway Patrol is conducting a criminal investigation into the incident as an uninvolved third party. Well, heads up for anyone going to Joplin City Hall. The west entrance will be closed for 6 weeks. A new and improved ADA accessible ramp is being built. In the meantime, all visitors and employees are asked to use the north and east doors. An ADA entrance is also available at the east doors. A destructive wildfire in Northern California continues to burn out of control this morning and has grown into one of the state's biggest blazes of the year. Thousands of residents have been forced to evacuate their homes. Several of those homes have already been damaged or destroyed. Trinity Chavez has the latest.
Around 2,000 firefighters armed with hoses, bulldozers, and airplanes continue to battle the so-called Oak Fire near Yosemite National Park in California. Newlyweds Steve and Andrea Ward found out their home was destroyed after seeing it explode on the news. The house they thought they would spend the rest of their life in, gutted in a matter of minutes.
She's looking over my shoulder and, this home that we had just gotten married at 2 weeks ago, it explodes, and you're looking at it on a mobile phone.
The Wards are among the more than 6,000 residents who were forced to leave their homes as the fire exploded in size.
This is the first time ever in my life being evacuated, so this is kind of different. A lot of anxiety.
Officials say the wildfire, which started Friday afternoon, has burned at least 15,000 acres and threatens more than 2,600 buildings. Hot weather, low humidity, and a 3rd year of extreme drought are making the battle even harder.
Everything that's burning in the fire is extremely dry.
California's governor has declared a state of emergency for Mariposa County. The state has so far fought more than 4,400 wildfires this year. Trinity Chavez, CBS News, New York.
Fire officials say so far at least 15 structures have been damaged or destroyed. Smoke from the fire prompted an air quality alert for millions from as far as 200 miles away. Some area preteens now have an opportunity to know what it's like to be on the police force. Jasper County Sheriff's Department hosted a week-long junior deputy camp for children ages 12 to 14 years old. Participants experienced some hands-on activities such as crime scene processing and more. Kids realize being a law officer can be exciting, but also important and serious.
In the shows, of course, and here it's a lot funner, but can be serious at times. I also learned how to do CPR.
Jasper County Sheriff's Office brought back junior deputy camp after a 10-year hiatus. Sergeant Roy Teed says the kids are happy to learn more about law enforcement. Well, today is a day to celebrate the ultimate food pairing. It's National Wine and Cheese Day. Since 2014, America has been celebrating July 25th as the day to sample the best sommeliers and cheesemongers have to offer. The National Wine and Cheese Day is meant to challenge us to try wines and cheese in new combinations. Cheese plates are often an excuse to break out intense red wines, but experts say summer calls for a lighter take. They suggest you try a fresh cheese which is soft and spreadable and often consumed just a few days or weeks after it's made. That pairs well with a crisp white wine. But if it's your day, find the wine and cheese pairings you enjoy most and celebrate in your own way.
You know, we might need to celebrate with some wine and cheese all week long, simply because we're going to have good reason to celebrate.
I would like to sit on the porch and sip wine and eat cheese while it rains.
And you're going to have an opportunity to do that. That's what's so beautiful about the forecast this week. I mean, the last couple of weeks, all we've done is told you hot, 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 hot. That's going to change. Not right away. Hot today, excessive heat will continue today and tomorrow. Thunderstorm chances, though, increase through the week, and then it'll start to warm back up by the end of next week and early the following week. Yes. So let's take a look. Skywatch Storm Tracker shows this big batch of rain off to our north. I mean, Kansas City is getting just shower after shower after shower. Some of us locally experiencing some shower activity, say around Burlington, Garnett, just north of Mound City. There's some rain, but that's not going to, the whole batch isn't going to make it here. Heat advisories in orange. These unshaded counties in northeast Oklahoma will go back under an excessive heat warning. But there's a slightly different reason for all of that today. And that is simply because the humidity is going to start to build. So temperatures aren't pushing 105, 108 like they have been, but heat index values will be as we stay hot and start to get muggy. The sun starting to get above those clouds, 73 in Joplin right now. Most of us starting our day that way. You can see where some of that rain's been early this morning. We got lower 60s up to the north, everyone else in the lower to mid 70s. And as we head through the day, temperatures will rise again into the lower 100s, but we've got increasing thunderstorm chances as we go into the afternoon. They'll taper off as the overnight begins. They'll clear out. Overnight lows in the upper 70s, starting the day at about 81 degrees. And a quick look at the future track. This is for the rest of today. You can see some of those spotty showers and thunderstorms, especially in southwest Missouri. And as we head into tomorrow morning, we start to see a few more showers and thunderstorms building in southeast Kansas. And then we'll see more widespread, but still scattered showers and thunderstorms Tuesday. And a look at the 7-day forecast shows us the increasing rain chances as we push on, and as they increase, temperatures will slowly begin to decrease. Check out Saturday, 88, because we're going to get socked into some scattered thunderstorm chances, and we're hoping that we get enough rain that it makes a little bit of a dent in the drought situation, because we're still under a severe drought for a good chunk of the area right now. So any rain we can get, we're certainly going to take.
Yeah, for sure. I'm looking forward to it coming a little bit every day.
Little bit each day, you know, not complete washouts, but just enough to help out a little bit. You might actually have to mow your yard again at some point.
What is that like?
I think you just push this big thing, sounds like a motorcycle, through your yard for an hour or so, and your grass begins to disappear.
I'll have to try that. All right, thanks, Chris. Up next, as the cost of everyday items continues to rise, many people are now turning to plasma donations to help make ends meet.
And later, as the extreme heat wave continues to pound the 4 states, we'll meet one farmer who says heat and drought are to blame for the death of his livestock. You're watching the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14.
In Health Watch this morning, it seems clear that the new 3-digit suicide prevention lifeline is much needed. According to new data, the 988 number received more than 96,000 calls, texts, and chats during the first week it launched. The volume of people reaching out was up about 45% from the week before the transition and up 66% from the same time last year. Lifeline used to be 1-800-273-TALK. TALK, but it transitioned to 988 on July 16th. In an effort to make it easy to remember, the nonprofit Vibrant Emotional Health operates the Lifeline on behalf of the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration. Pharmaceutical company says it's seen an uptick in people looking to donate plasma for cash. Grief Oils manages 300 plasma donor centers in the U.S., including 3 in Northern Nevada. The company's senior director of corporate affairs says they haven't seen an increase in donations in the last few months as more people look to supplement their income. According to Grief Oils, donors can get paid anywhere from $50 to $100 for each visit to one of their centers. frequent donors can receive more than $400 a month for biweekly donations. Grief Oil says the donated plasma is used to help treat diseases and trauma situations. The hidden danger in chemicals found in everyday products and new research on long COVID and children. Elise Preston has today's top health stories.
About 6% of children treated for COVID in emergency rooms battle long COVID symptoms months after their diagnosis. That's according to a study published in JAMA. Researchers say children who were hospitalized with severe symptoms were at greater risk of developing long-term complications, including fatigue, cough, and difficulty breathing. A new study finds antiviral drugs to treat COVID like Paxlovid greatly reduce the risk of hospitalization and death for patients battling mild symptoms. Canadian researchers also found that Paxlovid provided stronger relief in comparison to molnupiravir. And pregnant women exposed to phthalates during pregnancy face a greater risk of preterm birth, according to researchers at Rutgers University. The chemicals are often found in cosmetics, detergents, and food packaging. Researchers say reducing exposure by 50% helps lessen the risk of preterm birth. Those are some of the day's top health stories. Elise Preston, CBS News, New York.
Well, you still have a chance to become a mega millionaire. Friday night's Mega Millions drawing did not produce a ticket matching all 6 winning numbers. Jackpot rolls over once more to now at least $790 million with the next drawing on Tuesday night. There are now only 3 bigger jackpots that have ever been won in any lottery game. 2 were Mega Millions, both over $1 billion in 2018 and 2021. A $1.5 billion Powerball jackpot is the world record in January of 2016. Now, Friday night's Mega Millions did hit big for 4 players who matched the first 5 numbers. That netted between $1 to $3 million each for the winners.
So I was reading, the cash option on this is still extraordinarily high too. So I told you earlier, we went to the casino over the weekend. Mm-hmm. I never win down there.
Did
and
you?
I was actually winning.
Oh.
So I am going to acquire a Mega Millions ticket or 2 before Tuesday night's drawing because I could certainly use a few $100 million.
Do we know if they've identified the people who matched the first 5 numbers?
I don't think that they do. Because they're
I have
not
2
the
tickets I have yet to check.
They're not the jackpot winners, so they're not as important as the jackpot winner winners.
I'm just curious. They know there were those that won it, that matched it, but do we know who they are? Like, have they identified themselves yet? I'm basically saying.
Well, I mean, it'd probably be up to them if they want to go out and say, "Hey,
what I'm saying is, could one of them be my ticket that I haven't checked yet?
It's a possibility.
Yes.
It's a possibility. You never know.
Because I'll take that.
Hey, don't forget us little people. Mm-hmm. Quick check of the forecast. 7th and range line. The sun is coming up. It is sitting at 73 degrees in Joplin. Most of us are starting the day in the mid-70s, some lower 60s where there has been some rain. Temperatures will rise into the lower 100s with increasing storm chances by the afternoon for some of us at least. And then they'll taper off overnight, starting the day around 81 degrees. We've got more of the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14 when we come back. Well, extreme heat continues to bake parts of the country. In Oklahoma, one farmer says heat and drought are killing his livestock. He fears it'll only get worse as the heat continues. Amanda Gilbert has the story.
Even the animals are frustrated at Bill Cook's Bigsby Farm as they grasp onto the dwindling water across his property.
Typically, the water level's up to here. It's about maybe 35, 40 inches lower than what it typically is.
Since last week, Cook bought almost $2,000 worth of water and cooling units.
You have to do what you have to do in order to take care of your animals.
But some of his livestock has died, mainly chickens and ducks.
They just can't get cool enough. And like I said, we can't get cold water to them.
He is worried about losing his larger animals.
They'll stay most of the day in this area right here because of the shade.
And Bill says the llamas are especially distressed because of their longer fur.
Typically, what they'll do is when it gets hot like this, they'll go in the pond and they'll just stand there and they'll get down on their knees so their body can get all wet. But as you can see, we've just about lost the pond and I have no way to get water to it.
Bill says this problem isn't new to town.
It's been going on for several years. Last year, we were out of water for 3 days, the year before for a couple of days, and so it's an ongoing issue. Now it's just become emergent.
Urgent, as he worries about the next hot week ahead.
Friday evening, that a pump to help solve the water problem has been delivered. They expect it to be operating by tonight. And the heat will hold on to us for at least a couple more days. We're starting out pretty decently in the mid-70s for most of us, but it's going to warm up again in the lower 100s as we head through the afternoon. Some of us seeing some increasing isolated to scattered thunderstorm chances as we progress through the day. We start the overnight off with some of those scattered storms before things clear out. We're going to get into the upper 70s for overnight lows, starting the day at about 81 degrees. You can see on the future track, you can see some of those scattered showers and thunderstorms on the southwest Missouri side. And then as we head into tomorrow, we have increasing scattered showers and thunderstorms, especially on the southeast Kansas side. And while it's not going to be super widespread, we're not talking about complete soakers here, we see increasing scattered showers and thunderstorms across a good chunk of the area. And despite that, though, temperatures still pushing into the lower 100s with heat index values pushing above 105. A quick look back at July so far, 24 days in the month gone. 22 of those above normal, 2 of those below normal, no normal days whatsoever. Now, because of the rain chances increasing, humidity will increase. So again, heat index values are going to be pushing up there in the mid 100s. And a quick look at the 7-day forecast does show some relief, at least today and tomorrow, still pretty toasty. And then storm chances continue to increase as the week goes on, and temperatures will slowly start to cool. Check out Friday, mostly cloudy. Good chance of showers, only 88 degrees with overnight lows getting into the upper 60s to lower 70s. We'll have more of the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14 after this.
It's time to honor today's four-state hero, Staff Sergeant Donald Brown. The Pittsburgh, Kansas native served 2 tours in Vietnam and earned numerous awards and medals, such as the Combat Action Ribbon, the Presidential Unit Citation, and the Meritorious Unit Commendation, just to name a few. To Staff Sergeant Donald Brown, we thank you, today's four-state hero. When Texas record heat creates record demand on the state's power grid.
And now the federal government is proposing a wind farm near Galveston that would be bigger than the city of Houston.
Wow, and they say it would power millions of homes.
Nick DeTerrio has the story.
Something new may soon be found near Galveston's coast. This week, the federal government announced it wants to create an offshore wind farm large enough to power 2.3 million homes.
Considering all the emails we're getting from our energy providers saying that we need to conserve energy, maybe this will be beneficial.
In order to create that much power, the wind farm would need a lot of space. The proposal uses an area bigger than the city of Houston.
Ooh, that's pretty big. I really don't know what to say about that. That's just massive.
It's a project energy experts have been waiting to see come to the Gulf.
It's long past time that we got started, in the offshore wind anywhere in the United States, really.
Rice University's energy fellow Jim Crane says turbines create a lot of renewable energy. And unlike current wind farms, the Gulf may provide more power.
From what I understand about the offshore wind is it's better in late afternoons and high demand periods, when our wind in West Texas doesn't blow so well.
The turbines wouldn't be next to the beach, they'd be 14 nautical miles away. The federal government says it spends $30 million a year studying the impact of offshore projects. It says before construction, it'll work with Gulf fishermen and explore what other environmental impacts turbines would create. A new power source, Houstonians hope, will ease issues with the state's grid.
I wouldn't say that it would fix it right away, but I would definitely maybe take some of the load off of it and benefit the grid somehow.
Of course, we can't forget last year during the great freeze out, the demand that was placed on Texas power grid because they weren't used to temperatures that cold. I mean, neither were we, but for Texas, it got just downright freezing down there. So,
Well, and they use so much electricity during the hot summer months too that you have the potential for rolling blackouts as well. So
yeah, absolutely. And we're at a point where
be a good
anything
thing.
else. Yeah.
Another half hour of news and weather is just ahead. Coming up on the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14, the Monarch Butterfly is instantly recognizable and beloved. But we take a closer look at why the insect may be pushing extinction.
And the new video game Strays has taken off with people, and as Jeannie Moose shows us, it's also making an impact with real-life cats. I'm kind of curious what that means. You're watching the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. We'll be right back.
Starts now.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. It's currently 7:29. Let's take a look at today's top stories. A historian who wrote a book about the Kansas-Missouri border war during the Civil War stopped by the Baxter Springs Museum to talk about his research. Ken Spurgeon's book is called A Kansas Soldier at War, the Civil War Letters of Christian and Elise Dubach Isley. It says it offers insight into the human element of the conflict. At the event, he talked about what the letters mean and his process of researching for his book.
I was really little, I just loved stories of people. And the first time I really remember something kind of unique was sports. I read a couple of biographies and I was just like, where did that guy come from? What made that guy tick? What made that person who they were? And then that just kept spilling into more and more.
The letters in the book were discovered in the collections at Friends University in Wichita. Well, the grand opening of the new VFW building happened on Sunday in Webb City. The new building is just down the road from the old one. The VFW celebrated with sweets and gifts for members who helped make this happen. VFW serves the veterans, the military, and the community. It ensures all veterans are respected for their service and recognized for the sacrifices they and their loved ones have made on behalf of this great country.
It's a beautiful building, and we had a lot of trouble over there parking on Saturday because they'd have ball games. We had bingo on Saturday, and we had a lot of problems.
The new VFW building is located at 900 North Main in Webb City. 3 Joplin police officers are on paid leave after an officer-involved shooting had happened near Cunningham Park. According to the Joplin Police Department, on Saturday, officers on patrol noticed a vehicle with a driver unconscious inside. A run of the tag, it came back with the vehicle listed as stolen. The officers then boxed the car in so the man could not wake up and flee.
After multiple attempts were made to get the driver to exit the vehicle, the driver attempted to leave by ramming our vehicles. Altercation continued and an officer-involved shooting occurred.
The man in the vehicle is in the hospital in critical condition. The Missouri Highway Patrol is conducting a criminal investigation into the incident as an uninvolved third party. The struggles escalate for area farmers who are trying to cope with the drought. Lamar, Missouri farmer Adam Norwood grows corn, but the lack of rain has ruined some of his crop. He's cutting off the dried up corn to feed cattle rather than selling it for chicken feed like he normally would. The heat is also impacting how much grass is available for the cattle to graze. Norwood says this is a very unusual time to do the harvesting.
Doesn't happen often. This was about as bad as it's been. We've had about 1/10 of an inch of rain in July, along with these hot temperatures, and corn just won't make it in that kind of weather.
Norwood usually harvests his corn in September. Coming up a little later in the show, we'll move on to the next story. Sorry about that. 2 groups meet over the weekend on adjacent corners at 4th and Broadway in Pittsburgh to voice their opinions on abortion laws in Kansas. KOAM's Bella Line spoke with each side on the matter.
On and before August 2nd, registered Kansas voters will have the chance to vote on the Value Them Both amendment that regards abortion laws in Kansas. Chelsea Curtis helped organize the pro-choice counter-protest in hopes to be the voice of reason for the other side.
Don't strictly go to the Bible, even though the Bible does have some things to say about abortion. Honestly, for both sides, there are plenty of Bible verses that talk about abortion and how it is used.
On the other side, Father Jerome Spexarth of Our Lady of Lourdes Catholic Church brought together pro-life advocates in hopes to encourage Kansans to vote yes for the amendment.
I would say really it's not even necessarily a religious issue, it's a human issue. The fact of us supporting the idea of taking an innocent human life within the womb really goes beyond even religion.
Despite the two sides having opposing views, Curtis and Father Spexarth hope the opposing side can come to understand the other.
I think more than anything, we are wanting them to know that we are pro-life as well. We are for the lives that are here right now. We are for the lives that are coming into the world. But as far as abortion is concerned, a lot of times it does save a life or more than one life.
Valuing them both will help to keep safe a lot of the rules that involve sanitary practices within abortion clinics. It will not ban abortion. It will simply keep in place parental approval and keeping our tax money away from paying for abortions.
The groups came out today with the intention of peaceful demonstrations, and both did just that. In Pittsburgh, Bella Line, KOAM News.
Early voting in Kansas is already underway. You can visit KOAMnewsnow.com to learn more about all your voting needs. Joplin Fire and Police Departments partner with Hideout Harley-Davidson and the Community Blood Center of the Ozarks. They hosted their inaugural Boots, Badges, and Bikes Community Challenge Blood Drive. It's a fun event where the community gets the chance to come together and support local patients. They even held a vote where folks could show their support for the police or fire departments.
We are exactly what our name is. Our blood is, we get blood from our local donors, and it is for our local patients. We have 44 local hospitals that rely on us to get their blood supply to them. That means Freeman, Mercy, the Northwest Arkansas hospitals.
All donors received a free t-shirt from Hideout Harley-Davidson and a Boots and Badges Blood Drive t-shirt to honor first responders. The blood drive in Joplin wasn't the only blood drive competition using votes. The Vernon County Sheriff's Department and the Nevada Police and Fire Departments hosted a friendly competition as well. The departments held the Battle of the Badges blood drive and the competition to see who could recruit the most blood donors in their community.
So some people it doesn't bother. Some people are a little hesitant to get poked with a needle. I'm one of those people, but you know, it's not that bad. The Red Cross is great at what they do. You know, it feels good to come in and do something, even if it makes you uncomfortable. You're saving somebody else's life when you can give blood.
If you're curious who won, the Sheriff's Department won with a total of 30 votes. The Police Department had 14, and the Fire Department garnered 6 votes. Well, more good news from the Oklahoma City Zoo. The rare Sumatran tiger twins, who were born on July 2nd, had their first official checkup by the zoo's veterinarian. The zoo's vet gave the tiger cubs a clean bill of health. More importantly, they're a match set, a boy and a girl. Sumatran tigers are critically endangered, with only 500 left living in the forest of their native Indonesia. Their 11-year-old mother, Lola, gave birth on the early morning of July 2nd. Lola and her cubs will be kept off public view until the twins are old enough to be vaccinated. Tiger fans can continue to monitor their progress on the zoo's social media channels.
Aren't they so cute?
Yes, they'd be so cute as a pet right now.
Yeah, until they grow up.
Until they got big.
And then they could eat you. But I mean, I know that I know people can have them as pets. Yeah, but they are very cute right now.
Yeah.
And they'll grow up fast.
And I'm sure they'll have to, I wonder how that works, sending them off to other zoos or, you know, sharing the love.
I'm kind of curious how that does work. I mean, it's got to be one heck of a car ride for these guys. I wonder if they get to ride in the front seat, though.
No, probably not.
I would hope not, but hey, again.
In a carrier.
You never know. One thing you're going to have a front seat view of over the next several days is increasing rain chances. Quick look at the Skywatch Storm Tracker. We do have some rain in our area right now. And a look at the 7-day, we're still going to push highs in lower 100s today and tomorrow with thunderstorm chances. And then chances for storms continue to increase through the week. And as they do, the temperatures will slowly begin to drop as well. So that's something that we are definitely looking forward to. We've got more of the KOAM Morning News right after this. Well, through the summer, it's been extraordinarily hot. Now, this team up here, they actually were in a dragon boat race, and they almost didn't get to participate because lightning damaged their boat. But they were able to replace it, which is a good thing. And then they were able to, of course, row full steam ahead, if you will. So that brings us to our morning talker today, because that's fun on the water. What do you do for fun on the water? Is it boating, swimming, a float trip, fishing, or maybe something else? People are voting, and right now fishing taking the lead. 36% of you doing that. 28% of you like to go swimming. 16% on a float trip. 12% go out boating, and there's 8% of you who do something different on the water. Remember, vote KOAMNewsNow.com/vote in the KOAM News Now app, and of course take part in the discussion on our Facebook page. Well, they're one of the most recognizable insects, but the beauty of the monarch butterfly may be history. Reporter Ashley Strohmeyer explains what's pushing these creatures to their breaking point.
Its colorway is iconic, but the beauty and whimsy of the monarch butterfly could soon be a thing of the past.
What's happening to monarchs is like death by 1,000 cuts.
The insects are now facing extinction, with the International Union for the Conservation of Nature officially classifying the monarch butterfly as endangered, citing how the population has declined by more than 85% over the last 30 years.
There's very good evidence that that early decline, at least for the Eastern North American population, was due to breeding habitat loss.
According to wildlife experts, pesticides used by farmers are contributing to that environmental destruction and fueling the monarch's demise, with various weed killers in corn and soy fields wiping out nearby milkweed plants, a vital food source for monarch larvae.
Hot and dry conditions are not good for them through most of their range.
Altering weather patterns amplified by climate change are also taking their toll.
Monarch numbers are really tied to variation in year-to-year weather, and that the conditions that are best for monarchs are becoming more rare.
The Environmental Protection Agency says there are currently more than 1,300 endangered or threatened species of plants and animals in the United States. But the Fish and Wildlife Service has yet to list the monarch butterfly as endangered. The International Union for the Conservation of Nature says more than 41,000 species worldwide are now at risk of going extinct, with activists calling this the first ever mass extinction triggered by humans. Ashley Strohmeyer, Fox News.
We'll be back with consumer news right after this.
In Consumer Watch this morning, Wall Street ended last week on a down note after a 3-day winning streak. The Dow fell 137 points on Friday. The Nasdaq dropped 225 and the S&P 500 was off 37 points. Bradley Blackburn has today's business headlines.
Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen says while the U.S. economy has slowed, she does not believe a recession is already underway. Yellen cited low unemployment and strong consumer spending as two reasons for her optimism. She also said a period of slower growth may be necessary to curb inflation. Several reports will be released this week that'll shed some light on just how big of a hit the economy has taken, from new home sales to consumer confidence to income and spending. Gas prices continue to decline as demand remains soft around the U.S. According to AAA, the national average ended the weekend just below $4.37 a gallon. That's 56 cents less than it was a month ago. However, the price is $1.21 higher than it was this time last year. The first in-person Comic-Con in 3 years wrapped up yesterday in San Diego. The world's largest comic book convention was canceled in 2020 and 2021 due to COVID-19 concerns. Organizers say over 130,000 people attended the 4-day event, which was expected to generate an estimated $165 million in revenue.
We'll be right back with more after this, but first, let's take a look at the market prices before the opening bell. Real cats are going nuts over a just-released video game that lets their humans play a cat.
Yeah, Jeannie Moose lets the cat video game out of the bag.
Have you ever wondered what it's like to be a cat? Me neither. But now you can play being a cat in a new video game called Stray that felines themselves seem to think is the cat's pajamas.
She mostly has ignored video games, but the moment I put this one on,
she kind of reacted and ran to the screen to look at it. Still now, she will hop up and try and lick the screen.
Tamoor Hussain is the managing editor at GameSpot, which reviewed Stray and gave it 9 out of 10. In the storyline, the cat falls into an alien world and you navigate it from the cat's point of view. Leaping on pipes and jumping like a cat on a hot tin roof. There's even a dedicated meow button that players can't resist. Do you feel like a cat?
Do you feel like a cat? You start to feel like a cat, which is perhaps his biggest achievement. You suddenly discover the joy that comes from just pushing something on the edge of a table off.
The Stray's world is inhabited by robotic humanoids. You solve problems that a real Stray probably couldn't figure out. Actual cats can't keep their paws off the virtual one.
And when it disappears, she watches for a second and then thinks the cat is behind the television. So she'll run back round there to look for the cat.
Owners beware.
Don't you hit that TV.
There's even a Twitter account called Cats Watching Stray. So what's he doing? Transfixed. Rocket's a dog. Who needs game reviews when you've got cats voting with their paws? Genimos, CNN, New York.
I wonder if they're scratching the screen.
Well, some of them look like they're trying to offer support to the cat that they see. Others look like they're trying to attack it because it's in their territory.
And maybe they're lonely cats and they need a mate. Honestly, we introduced this game on Friday, and I can't believe we're dedicating a second day to it.
It's a very important game, Tanya. How often do you get to be a cat? That's what I thought.
Just like Ginny Moose starts her story out. Have you ever wondered what it was like to be a cat? I haven't either.
Yeah, but here's the deal, though. I have. I told you last week, too, about my cat. I'd watch him sleep all day. People wait on him hand and foot all day. I'd love to know what that's like. Where I can just, curl up in this couch and get all comfy. And then somebody, Tanya here, brings me food that she puts right here because she knows I'm not going to go look for it. She makes me feel loved. She puts water here. I don't have to do anything except lay here under the light and enjoy. That's what it's like to be a cat.
That would be perfect, wouldn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, it's going to be hot again today. Real quick, we're starting out pretty nice, and it's going to be hot again today, and it'll be hot again tomorrow, but increasing storm chances means some lower temperatures and a break from all this heat and drought.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. Here's what's happening today. The Northeast saw triple-digit temperatures on Sunday, and new heat records were set in Boston and Newark, New Jersey. Nearly week-long heat wave has been blamed for at least 2 deaths. Weather officials say the Pacific Northwest will get the next big heat wave. Temperatures could break daily records in Seattle, Portland, and parts of Northern California by Tuesday. A massive, fast-moving wildfire continues to burn out of control near Yosemite National Park. Thousands have had to evacuate the area. The Oak Fire started Friday and has burned more than 14,000 acres. Crews say hot weather, low humidity, and a third year of extreme drought are making the firefight difficult and dangerous. In the House January 6th committee plans to interview more witnesses and is prepared to subpoena conservative activist Jenny Thomas, wife of Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas. In March, CBS News and the Washington Post reported Jenny Thomas sent more than a dozen messages to President Trump's then Chief of Staff Mark Meadows, urging him to pursue unrelenting efforts to overturn the 2020 election. Representative Adam Schiff also said the Justice Department should open an investigation into former President Trump.
It's going to be another hot one today, but we've got some better storm chances as the day progresses. They'll still be scattered, but some of us may see a little rain. Highs topping out in the lower 100s. Upper 70s for overnight lows, starting the day at 81 degrees. Quick check of that 7-day shows increasing rain chances and decreasing temperatures as we head on through the week and into the weekend. Certainly some relief that we need, considering that a good chunk of the area is experiencing severe drought conditions right now.
I like the fact that there's only 2 alert days left on that 7-day.
Yeah.
And Things are about to get a little more pleasant.
And no more triple digits, at least on this immediate forecast following Tuesday either. So.
Yeah. Also looking forward to those lows headed our way.
Oh,
That'll
absolutely.
be nice. Well, a Missouri man's strange hobby could help him break a world record. James Bacon started collecting clovers during the pandemic, and while walking on various trails, he kept finding the plants. A 9-leaf one, 11 with 7 leaves, and 402 5-leaf clovers.
But that's nothing compared to his collection of 4-leaf clovers. That totals 3,483, but it's his 6-leaf clover collection that he's hoping will set a record. Right now, the record is 27, but Bacon has gotten 43 verified by a botanist. Guinness still needs to verify the collection before it is official.
And what do you do with all these clovers?
They
Have
bring
a
you
clover
tons
wall?
of luck.
You should
Lots
be very
of luck.
lucky.
Well, thank you all so much for letting us put the good in your morning. We'll be back with more news and weather at noon.
Have a great morning and an even better day.